the Cotswolds myself, probably more in summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, most people visit the countryside not to shoot or to see livestock. They visit the countryside to see wildlife and to be out in nature and to hike and to walk and to visit these local beautiful historic towns. So most of the tourism value is not associated with animal farming, and farming actually makes up a fraction of even the rural economy. Although I understand that it's kind of culturally important and certainly connected to a number of other industries. So I think there are gains to be made there, and it would be useful if we are going to transition towards a plant-based system, which obviously we're promoting, and I think ultimately will happen. Then it's worth farmers and land managers thinking about where that income is going to come from in the future, and how they can, rather than resisting that change and just seeing costs and risks, actually seeing opportunities and benefits and new sources of revenue.
Yeah, it would be pretty good. I mean, the only other thing I was thinking there, though, is that how do you get people to pay for the benefit that they're getting? So if you came down here to see, I mean, I don't know what wildlife we have around here that may not be elsewhere, but let's say you came down to Burford and went over to a wood nearby because you want to see squirrels, whatever it may be. I know any wildlife plant-based. We've got the other day I found out I don't know if you know of a plant called downy woundwort.
I'm not familiar with the downy woundwort.
Well, I've never heard of it either, but apparently Whitney, which is just down the road in between here and Whitney, is an internationally significant area for this plant. So I was looking at actually planting some on our farm, but I wanted to try and get advice on it first. I don't want to start, ruining the genetics by planting domesticated plants.
Good point.
But that sort of thing. So, if somebody, for instance, came and saw that, there is a danger that if you were to, allow access to the land, which is, a separate argument on itself, allow access to land for those people to go and be able to see this plant. Where's the income from that? Where it's almost easy to see where the income streams come from those who come to go shooting, for example, because they come and they pay the money to various different people and they go and do these various different things around the towns. Whereas if you come to see the plant and you get access to it, you've taken the same benefit of access to the land and tourism there, but the local economy doesn't get even a fraction of the amount of income.
Well, most of the benefit comes from people staying, right? From people staying in local accommodation, like you say, going to local pubs. That's where the key economic benefits come from, rather than the activity itself, which like in the case of shooting is a tiny fraction of the actual kind of economic benefits there. It doesn't employ many people. It's like you say, it's the fact that the people going to do the activity go to the local pub and stay at a local hotel or a B&B, and breakfast in the town and maybe visit the shops or whatever before they go. So you get all those benefits still by people visiting the countryside. There's also an interesting question, I think, around rural economies. The way that we work is changing. There's a lot more remote working. And so I think, it might be that you get people working more from home and there's more kind of stable base for the population that are kind of remote working or working part-time, that are kind of just contributing to the local economy, setting up businesses locally as well. So
I do think that's actually really significant. I think obviously in lockdown, apart from the fact that I'm in the local church trying to get Wi-Fi, working from home is a massive area I think would be useful for the countryside, because even if you were to say took a Friday off to go down to be able to go and work at a cafe with a view over the woodlands and whatever else, you can have a walk around the countryside. I would do that if I lived in the city. Currently I live on a farm, so I don't need to. But it does seem. It seems like it's from this point onwards. It's would be a massive growth area for people who are stuck in towns and cities working in an office. We can just do the same thing, but with a nicer surroundings, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's some opportunities there. It's a time of change and a time of flux. For the countryside and
for everyone.
Yeah, and I think for many people that can feel, who particularly people who are involved in traditional land management and animal farmers, that can feel quite disconcerting and quite scary. But I think, yeah, it's about making sure we're optimistic about it and trying to support those people and giving them alternative options.